Yo, what up guys? This is your boy here, Judah Yuki, giving you another Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 episode review for you guys. This is going to be episode 136. So, as we know from last episode, it ended off with Yuya defeating Yuri, and he ended up absorbing him, and the four dragons ended up combining into one along with Yuya, and Zarc was born, and the dimensions were practically merging together. So, at the start of this episode, we see that there's like these wormholes in the sky in all four of the different dimensions, in the standard synchro XCs and fusion dimension. So we see different characters. We see from the standard dimension, we see, I don't think we saw Yuya's mother, but we definitely did see, I forgot his name, it was Yuzu's father and the three little children. And then, you know, we see different characters from the synchro region and all that other stuff. Region, sorry, that's Pokemon. But and everybody's pretty much kind of watching what's going on here. They're confused, they don't know what's going on, they're kind of scared. So we see Zarc the dragon here. He's still kind of covered in darkness, so we don't see his true form, even though it's not that much of a difference. So he's just going on a little rampage. He's kind of talking to the students. He's like, oh, what's wrong? Isn't this what you guys wanted? You guys wanted me to win. You wanted this, so now, you know, this is what you got. And the students of Academia, they were like saying, oh no, this isn't what we wanted. This isn't what we had in mind. And then I think Zarc told him to shut up. You guys have no idea what you're talking about. Then he puts a blast out and attacks one of the buildings just to kind of intimidate them, I guess, or whatever. I don't know why he didn't just attack them directly or whatever, but it is what it is. So we cut to a scene with Reira, and he could still hear Rei's voice, and Rei's voice is pretty much screaming out to him. And Reira says that, oh, we have to go to find our father and protect him or save him or whatever. And Reiji's like, oh, don't worry about him, he's a careful man, he's probably already found a safe place to evacuate. And Reira's like, no, we have to go find him. Rei's voice is calling out to him. And, you know, I guess because most likely Leo's gonna stay there until Rei is revived, until he gets his daughter back, so he knows that he probably hasn't evacuated yet. And Reira says that, please revive me as fast as you can. She's screaming it out. I'm the only one who can stop Zarc and this and that. So Reira goes running off, and then Reiji goes running off after him. Then we have Edo and Sora, and they're kind of looking at what's going on. They pretty much are about to team up. I think Edo asks for Sora's help, and Sora says, oh no, I'm not going to help you or whatever, but I will accept it if you help me. So what, you know, playful banter or whatever. He has too much pride, so I guess accept his help, but whatever. He gave him a lollipop and everything, he moved on. So then we come back to Zarc, the dragon, and he's just blasting everything, and he's like, isn't there anybody who's brave enough to stand against me, who's brave enough to fight me? So he's pretty much going around looking for a fight. And he's gonna go and he's blasting some of the students, and then we see a monster protect them, blocking the hit, and it ended up being Edo's monster. So then we got Edo and Sora there. They got there pretty fast. So Sora and Edo pretty much challenge Zarc to a fight, and then throughout this they're trying to figure out, hold up, where there's this monster that's summoned, but where is Zarc? They don't know where he is, but what they don't realize is that dragon is Zarc. That whole dragon is Zarc. So then once they challenge him, he agrees to it, obviously, because he's looking for a fight. So the dragon kind of deforms into this black and red shadow or whatever, and out of the shadows comes this demonic form of Yuya, and it looks pretty creepy and weird, you know, a typical demonic look. And yeah, so they notice that it kind of looks similar to Yuya, and they're like, wait, isn't that Yuya? It's like, and they're saying, oh, where's Yuya? And Zarc says, oh, Yuya's an alter ego of mine that was used to resurrect me. He no longer exists. I think at one point Edo or Sora, they were like, oh, so Zarc, when Zarc first appeared, he's like, so Zarc, you finally showed your face. And Zarc is like, oh, well, I've been in front of you the whole time, obviously, since he looks like Yuya. And, you know, Zarc has technically been with them the whole time, so he's kind of already seen them. So I found it kind of weird that he looks like Yuya. Everybody's kind of questioning, like, wait, why does he look like Yuya right now? Like, doesn't make sense. So maybe his form is incomplete right now, or maybe he's just using that form just to kind of mess with the minds of everybody who knows Yuya maybe. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. So anyway, the duel begins, and Zarc goes first, and he sets the pendulum scales. I think it's Supreme King Gate 0 and Supreme King Gate Infinity, so a nice little reference to Darkness, the villain from GX, who had the 0 and Infinity trap cards and all that cool stuff. So obviously R5 has a lot of fan service from previous series, so this is another one of them. And he pendulum summons 2 Supreme King Servant Dragon Zarc or whatever. These 2 monsters, 2 level 4 1800 attack monsters, and I believe he just ends his turn like that. He doesn't say anything. So then it's Edo's turn. Edo goes and he summons his Dystopia guy as usual, and he, tries to burn Yuya, or should I say Zarc. He tries to burn Zarc, but Zarc's pendulum scales have some effects. So I think either 0 or Infinity, one of them has an effect where you take no effect damage while it's in the pendulum zone, and then the other one has an effect where any effect damage you would take, you gain instead. So he gained life points because of that burn damage. And then Edo's kind of trying to talk to Yuya, trying to get through to him, hoping that some of his moves will be able to get through to him. Obviously, that's not necessarily working. He activated this other spell card, which cut Dystopia's guy's attack in half as well, to try to burn Zarc again, but obviously he gained life points again. And then at the end phase, since Dystopia guy's attack was decreased, he also destroyed one of his Supreme King Servant monsters that he had. So he did that. He set a back row and he ended his turn. And then it's pretty much Edo's turn. It's pretty much Sora's turn, and he goes and he's gonna automatically send a couple Fright First to his graveyard to summon Fright for Chimera, and basically he does something kind of clever, trying to get to Yuya by doing a familiar move. So what he did was he activated Chimera's effect to destroy the other dragon servant that Zarc had on the field, and that would inflict burn damage when that monster is, I think, sent to the graveyard. Oh no. Chimera steals the monster that it kills in battle and sends it to the graveyard. But obviously, since he killed the Pendulum monster, it doesn't go to the graveyard, it goes to the extra deck. And Sora did that on purpose to remind Yuya of the first duel that they had. When Sora had destroyed one of his Pendulum monsters, and then Yuya explained that, they go to the extra deck instead, so it doesn't count or whatever. So he was trying to do that to try to connect, and he's like, oh, you remember this was our first duel, and then at one point he yelled out teacher, because he was his teacher. He saw him as his teacher, so he actually yelled that out. And then Zarc just had this plain reaction, like he had nothing. Like you could tell it didn't get through to him at all, and he just had no reaction at all. It's kind of awkward actually. Sora gets kind of sad. Before this, I believe he also stuck out the pendulum that he had. He picked it up at some point, and to try to get to him, that didn't work either. So Sora, put his head down, and we get a close-up shot of him, and we see a tear run down his face, and he's really sad. And then Edo notices, and he's kind of surprised that the emotion that Sora's portraying from this. But anyway, I think he wipes off the tear and he just sets a card face down, and he ends his turn, I believe. After that, then Zarc's turn. Zarc pendulum summons the 2 Supreme King Servant dragons and whatnot. He does that again, and then Edo activates a trap card, this D trap card, which, while you control Destiny Hero monster, if your opponent special summons a monster, you can destroy all of their special summon monsters, and I think you can inflict damage or something. And then Sora comes in, he activates his trap card. I forgot what that one did. I think it had a similar effect where it also destroys cards on the field, but that destroyed everything on Zarc's field, including the Pendulum Zone, so he won't be able to gain life points or reduce the burn damage. So they destroyed the Pendulum Zones, the 2 servants, and whatever. And then Zarc takes a couple of burn damage, but he had a lot. He had like 8,000 life points at that point. So then he got decreased a little bit, but it didn't really matter that much. So then Zarc pretty much activates a card in his hand, its effect, and that card is Astrograph Magician. So now we finally get to see this card and play it. And its effect is when monsters or cards on the field are destroyed, you can special summon this card from your hand, and then special summon all those monsters that were destroyed because of that. And then Zarc has another effect where I think you can banish him. I think so. I think you can tribute him or banish him. Yeah, you could banish him along with the 4 dragons from anywhere in your deck, hand, or graveyard to special summon Supreme King Dragon Zarc. And that's what he does. So now Zarc is finally summoned onto the field. Zarc pretty much combined with the dragon itself. And obviously, so now they realize that, oh, Zarc is the dragon. They are one necessarily. And also we see on his duel disc that he says that he's a fusion, pendulum, Xyz, and a synchro monster at the same time. And we see on the card that it looks kind of weird and kind of dumb, but like you see like the effect monster, like it's divided into 4 sections, the card, and you see the colors of the effect monster, fusion monster, Xyz, and synchro. So to represent that he's all 4, and I was just like, I don't know, it looked kind of weird and kind of dumb. It seemed kind of forced to put that. Like, I get in the context of the story, it makes sense, but like it just looks kind of stupid. It looks kind of fake, like some fan created card, and it looked kind of dumb. But whatever, you know, it's just for a quick moments. But yeah. So now he has a synchro, fusion, Xyz, and pendulum monster, or whatever you could say on the field, because it counts as all of them. But anyway, so Zarc's effect activates. I think it destroys all monsters your opponent controls, and then, you know, the players take damage equal to the combined attack of all those destroyed monsters. Before this part happened, Shuna and Kaito came in, and, you know, they intruded the duel. So this part is kind of weird because Edo and Sora took the burn damage from that, but since technically they intruded the duel before that happens, shouldn't they have also taken the damage and lost there? So it felt kind of weird that all of a sudden, you know, they just butted into the duel, but they weren't even. I thought at some point they were gonna like try to protect them, like use some cards to avoid effect damage or something. But no, they ended up taking the damage and they both lost. Their life points hit 0. So what was the point of them intruding there? And how come they didn't take damage? Because they intruded it. So now it's a 4-way, and all players were supposed to take damage equal to the combined attack. So they should have all lost at the same time. So I didn't really understand why the order in which they did that. That didn't make any sense. But whatever, that's what they decided to do. So they lose, they go flying back. Shun goes after Sora, and Kaito goes after Edo, and Edo's on the floor, and he says that Yuya has become the demon. That's Yuya over there, and this and that. And then Sora takes the pendulum and gives it to Shun and says, "Oh no, please, Xyz, please save Yuya." So he agrees to it. He takes the pendulum and he's gonna save him. And then we have this shot of Shun and Kaito there, and Shun says, "Yuya, that form doesn't suit you." And then he says, "Ore no turn drawn." He draws a card, and that's how it ends, with them two facing the dragon and this and that. So next episode is going to be Kaito and Shun versus Zarc now. So it's going to be either 2x2, and then maybe at some point it'll be a 3v1 and this and that. So more people are probably going to continue to intrude in the duel, or maybe they'll come after. But yeah, so that's the episode, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. It was a pretty cool episode, seeing Zarc finally on a Christmas Day. I know it's not Christmas during the time you'll watch this, but it was Christmas Day when this episode was released. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me if you liked this or not. It was a pretty good episode overall. I can't say I was in love with it, but I did like it. It had its good elements. I think because I kind of already knew some of the cards Zarc was going to use beforehand through spoilers, I wasn't as surprised or as blown away. But it was still an overall pretty good episode. Hopefully it'll continue to get better from this point on. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for everything. And yeah, see you guys later. Gotcha!
ペンドラム召喚来い俺のモンスターズたちあららおちことちくヘギル渡るのマラコオーダイスペンドラムドラゴン